Hello and welcome everybody. Could I just get a sound check, please? Is my beautiful face coming across okay? and can you see my beard okay? And can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great, thank you. I'd like to start on time if possible. Right, so please mute your microphones, thank you. So the format of this webinar, there are two parts. The first part introduces the company and its products. And the second part is for team builders and those who want to share this opportunity with others. And after each part, we'll have a Q&A. And unfortunately, Finiko is not open to citizens of the USA and probably not open to citizens of Iran as well. We're just getting clarity on that at the moment. So who am I? I'm Gary, also known as the Crypto Analyzer. I'm a qualified business analyst and I'm an IT trainer. So I teach many things, including software testing, agile product management, project management, and cybersecurity. I'm an investor like yourselves and a crypto enthusiast. And after being scammed by many companies and misled by dishonest, unprofessional YouTubers, I decided to take full responsibility for myself and become a YouTuber and to try and do things differently. And by that, I mean by doing deep research and trying to find transparent, legitimate opportunities like Finiko and presenting the facts honestly and without bias to you guys. So a quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor and investing in any company carries risks. So please remember that any company can fail. So we all have to manage our risk and manage our greed. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. And we should all be taking full responsibility for our actions. And it's not my role to convince you of anything. I'm simply sharing the facts with you as far as I know, and then what I've experienced, and then you make your own mind up. So who are Finiko? Well, they're a Russian company operating since January 2018, and they're led by this man, Mr. Kirill Doronin. Their head office is in Kazan, and their core business is trading. Now they diversify across Forex, BitMEX, the Chicago Stock Exchange, and Moscow Stock Exchange. Now these guys are into lots of different things. They're very diversified. There's things here which I've had conversations with guys who live in Kazan, and they've kind of showed me lots of other things that these guys are into. And they've sort of hinted at some of these things in some of the recent conferences. And hopefully we'll get a bit more information on that as time goes by. But we know that in the back office in Finiko, for example, they've got placeholders where they're going to be adding products. So we're going to get to hear about those in due course. Now they have 73 traders. Now last week they had 54. So these guys are really exploding. And that's in a good way, I mean, in a positive way. They're growing incredibly rapidly. Now, it must be a real management exercise to go from 54 traders to 73. Now, the head trader, Edward Savarov, talked a little bit about this in the last conference, and he explained that they have a process, a recruitment process, a testing process, a training process to onboard these new traders, to make sure they're trading in the way that Finiko wants them to do from a risk management and from a psychology perspective. So, you know, these guys know what they're doing. Now they have 79 financial instruments that they trade against, and each one of those you can consider as being a diversification element in their risk management strategy. Now they were licensed in the EU in Estonia to exchange crypto into fiat. That license is currently on pause after some new rule changes, but they've said that they do need to get that back in full operation for next year. Now they have over 300 franchised offices, and we've seen those popping up now in France, in Canada, really kind of expanding outside of the Russian borders. Now they're about to become licensed as a brokerage, and I think this is really, really great news. I mean, having any kind of license or regulation, it's going to really open up Finiko to a much wider audience. And they talked about this in the recent conference. The thing with Finiko regarding dates, I don't know if they've ever met an actual date. They tend to kind of be very aspirational in what they want to do. They say, right, we're going to open a brokerage, and they charge a charge ahead trying to make that happen. And sometimes they'll hit roadblocks and obstacles, and they just keep chipping away until they get there. But it's not like, I've been a project manager many times, worked as a project manager and teach project management. And it's a very, very difficult thing to say at this date in X months time, given lots of different complicated steps along the way, we're going to hit that date. Very, very difficult to do that. But anyway, I don't know exactly when this license is going to come along, but I'm really looking forward to when it does. So anytime I look at a company, I try and gather as much evidence as possible to try and validate everything the company say. I want to look at the history of the people behind it. And I want to make sure that these guys are telling us the truth, because this industry is full of scammers. And even yesterday, I was looking at two new companies that people are raving about, and sure enough, as soon as I saw the red flags, I jumped and ran away. And this is based upon, what are these guys telling us? Is it true? So my sponsor, Vladislav, flew to Moscow, and he met with Kirill Dornan, the CEO, and the head trader, Edward Savarov, who's also a co-owner. And I've chatted with many long-term investors who've been in Finiko way before I joined. These guys have bought property, bought cars, used the products that Finiko have. And I wanted to know, was their experience good? And it all checked out okay. And although I'd seen trading history going back to 2019, I couldn't personally verify that. I can only verify what I experienced myself, really, in terms of the trading. Now, they have loads of different revenue streams. So it's very difficult to just see one single place where everything is there and you can go, great, here's one MyFX book account, and now I know what the whole company is doing. They have lots and lots and lots of accounts. And with the number of traders they have now, each one, some of the traders have got 4 accounts, for example. A big account might be 100,000, might be 1 million. And then other traders might have small accounts like 10,000 as they gather more confidence and prove themselves in terms of their trading ability and risk management. So it's very difficult to see all this in one place. Now, they used to show us accounts in MyFX Book. MyFX Book canceled their account, so it wasn't anything to do with Finiko pulling their account. They've showed me the email that MyFX Book sent them canceling their account. Now, they offered me a trading demonstration, and we can access that. But when this brokerage comes online, we're going to be able to do better than this by having copy trading. So we'll be able to put our funds into a well-known broker. We'll have full control of those funds, and then Finiko will trade against our accounts. So I did this with them for supposedly, it was supposed to be 1 week. But I gave them my Forex account, and they generated 15.7% profits for me in 1 day. Their goal was to hit 10%. So I was delighted with the results. Now, this is Vladislav on the left meeting with Kirill in Moscow. And this, I think, is really interesting. They've applied for a patent. Well, they received a patent for the Finiko name and their logo. So I really like that they're protecting their long-term brand. And this is another indication that these guys are legitimate and not a scam. Now, normally, up to last week, I was showing accounts showing roughly $1 million in this particular account here is for crude oil, and it shows $20 million. So that was, it's nice to see some big accounts. And this account is an IC Markets account with $2.8 million, a Forex account. And This guy on the right is an investor like ourselves called Igor. He lives in Kazan, same city as Kirill. That's Kirill on the left. And Igor is he's been with the company for a long time, and his account currently shows $1 million. And here's some of the withdrawals that he's done. The one at the top is for 91,000. And one of my team did a withdrawal. He had 158 CTIs, which is $158,000. He sold them a month ago. And when I say sold them, that means doing a capital withdrawal. So he withdrew those, and that arrived in his account yesterday. So he was delighted to receive his funds, and it's a nice demonstration of. I like when companies can handle large withdrawals without problem, no interference. Now this on the right is shows his daily earnings for that particular day when he had $1 million. So at the top, he's received nearly $9,000, and just below that, $3,000. And the one below that is a bonus he received of $5,000. So nice to see some big funds in Finiko, both from our investors and being able to withdraw as well. This is my IC Markets account. When I asked the traders in Finiko to trade against my own personal account, I gave them I put $2,000 into this account, and they did 8 trades. 7 of them were wins and 1 of them was a loss. And on the bottom left, you can see that the profit was $314 for a day's trading. So at this point, which took me 4 weeks at the time to do this research, I knew I was dealing with a legitimate company with real traders, not with bots. These guys really believe in manual trading over, excuse me, over bots, which is interesting. And there's a lot of transparency in Finiko. I'm not going to say they're 100% transparent, because I've never seen a company that's 100%, but there's an awful lot of transparency here, which I really like. Now, one of the things they did, a lot of companies that I look at, you never get to know who the real traders are. They tend to be quite secretive about that, partly because some people might steal your traders. If you tell people their names, and then your competition might go and try and poach them. And also, you can put these traders at risk if they're dealing with very high volumes of cash. Then people might target them. Anyway, Finiko do this thing called Battle of the Traders, where they invite traders from all over Russia to come and do battle against their traders. So I really like that they have a confidence in their own trading skills. So here's a quick little video showing a recent battle that occurred between external traders and Finiko's traders. So I like the fact that we got to see the names of their traders and the names of some of the other guys, and we could then try and go and validate that, who these people are. It gives us an ability to search for these people. And one of the things that we discovered quite recently is that one of the female traders that they have in their team is a friend of a friend. So someone basically that I know, a friend of their friend, works as a trader in Finiko. So it's nice to get kind of independent corroboration of some of these things. So at this point, I've been trying to show you, as far as I'm concerned, this is a legitimate company. They've got real traders and they've demonstrated tremendous skill in their trading. So how do we make money in Finiko? Well, the first thing we need to do is to buy CFRs. Now, a CFR is their own token, their own representation of a US dollar. So 1 CFR is equal to $1. So in order to invest in this company, first we need to pass KYC, and then we need to buy CFRs. So if you want to invest $1,000 in something, you buy $1,000 worth of CFRs and you pay in Bitcoin or US dollar tether. Once you've got that money on the platform, once you have CFRs, then you can buy CTIs. So they've got lots of products, but CTI is their flagship product. So the minimum purchase there is $3,000 and it pays around a 1% profit 5 days a week. Products is their next biggest feature, and the minimum there is $155, and you can double your money in 4 months. Then we've got Life, and the minimum there is $525, and that's a 12-month contract that pays you weekly, monthly, quarterly, etc. And then you've got a product called Debts, DEBTS, and you might want to say clear your mortgage, clear your credit card debt, clear your car debt, whatever it is. And it takes roughly 10 months to do this, and you pay 35% of the debt, and then Finiko pay the rest. They have a product called Cars, where you pay 35% of the cost of the car, and then after 4 months, you receive 100%. And they've got a property option where you can pay 35% of the cost of the property, and then after 4 months, you get the 100%. And then they've got a cashback service. So with this, you can deposit from $100 up to $20,000, and you get 6% per month. Plus, you get an option to additionally get 15% cashback per month. So they're the different products. Now, previously, I've only shown 4 of these products because there's restrictions on things like cars and property and debts. For example, with the debts, when you try and use the product on the website, you have to type your amount in rubles in the Russian currency. So it's a little bit awkward. But I now know people in my team who have effectively used all of these products. They've cleared their debts, they've bought cars and property. So I know now that all of these products are accessible to us outside of Russia. Right, so I'm only going to talk about 2 of these products in detail because it'll take too long. And these are the 2 main ways to make money in Finiko, the 2 easiest ways. So their flagship product, CTIs, it stands for Saffron Trading Index. And saffrons is CFR. CFR is short for saffron. So the minimum is currently $3,000 payable in Bitcoin or USDT. And historically, they've been paying around 1% per trading day. And that's been very, very consistent. So here's the last 6 months results that we've been receiving. So in April, 22.8%, May, 22.7%, June, 21%, July, 23%, August 21%, and September nearly 23%. Incredibly consistent results. So there's no lock-in period with CTIs. So like a CTI is like an investment unit. Each one is $1,000. The minimum you can purchase is 3 of them, so $3,000. And there's no lock-in period, but it does take roughly a month, a calendar month, to get your funds back. And as I mentioned, one of my team withdrew $158,000 worth a month ago, and he received it. So that's good to hear. Now, there is a deposit fee of 3.5% and a withdrawal fee of 3%. So factor those things in when you're working out what your net profit's going to be. Now, you start to receive your profits after 3 trading days. So today is Saturday. So if I purchased CTIs today, I would skip Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as trading days, and I'd start to receive my profit on the Thursday. Now, withdrawals are in Bitcoin, and the minimum is $100, and there's no maximum. So profit withdrawals take 3 trading days. I normally they say 3 to 4 now, but I normally withdraw on a Sunday, and usually by lunchtime on a Wednesday, I receive my profits in my external wallet. It's never taken me 4 days, but they say that it might take up to 4 days. So the other, I'll talk about two other products. So Dot Life pays out over a 12-month period. So you choose the frequency of when you get paid. So you can be paid weekly, monthly, yearly, and getting paid less often means a higher profit overall. Now, I haven't personally used Dot Life products because I think over a short period, if you're getting paid monthly or weekly, the profits aren't as good as in Dot Product or in CTIs. But I do know people who use this product. It's very good for managing things like monthly bills and things like that. Now, the minimum investment is $525. So for example, if you pay that, then you'd receive $104 each month for 12 months. That's a total of $1,248. And if you deduct the initial payment that you made of $525, that's a net profit of $722 over the year, which is 137% over the year. And if you divide that by 12, you get 11.5% per month. And that's the minimum. If you were to do it over, like, say, 6 months, getting paid twice a year, your profit changes to like 37% a month. Now, the other main product, strangely called Finiko.PRODUCT, gives us the ability to double our funds in 4 months. So we choose our financial goal. So let's say you wanted to receive $500. Then you choose, well, when do you want to receive that? If you say 4 months, then you're going to have to pay 50%. If you choose 7 months, you're going to have to pay 30%. Now, the minimum investment here is $155. So if you choose, in order to pay that minimum, you'd say, I want to receive $500 in 7 months' time, and you'd pay $155. And if you deduct the initial payment from that, your net profit over the 7 months is $345, which is a gain of 223%. And that's a monthly profit of 31.86%. So very nice product. That product is a very profitable product, but just bear in mind that you don't get any updates for the 7 months, for the whole duration of your contract. So it's like, you say, all right, I want to receive $500. You pay your $155, and you don't hear anything for 7 months. So after 7 months, you log in and your money's there and you can withdraw it. My personal favorite investment option here is CTIs, because we get paid every trading day, after every trading day. So we get paid 5 days a week, roughly 1%. So it enables you to reduce your risk, because you can withdraw profits on a regular basis, or you can compound. So that's how we make money. And I've showed you a lot of evidence that I've gathered, but the psychology is also quite important. So this guy, Kirill, the CEO, he's very well known in Kazan. He's a local celebrity there, and he's brought a lot of prosperity to his town, and he has a reputation that's important to him. And he wants to leave behind a legacy in biotechnology. So everything I've read about this guy, I've researched about this guy, he does not strike me as a scammer. He strikes me as a guy who's got tremendous integrity, and I've got loads and loads of examples to back that up. If you want to ask me any questions about that, please fire away during the Q&A session. Now, Edward, who is another co-owner and the head trader, has a tattoo of the Finiko logo on his left forearm, and Kirill has the same Finiko logo tattooed on his left wrist. And when I asked Edward about this, why he had this tattoo, he said that he's fully committed to this company. This is his life. He's not going anywhere. And I love that commitment from these two guys. I think it's tremendous. And then 3 months ago, probably 4 now, actually, I was liaising with a very senior manager in Finiko, and he was showing me his personal Finiko account as I was trying to help a customer. And in there, he had over $45,000 personally invested at that time. And in the last week of transactions that I could see on his screen, he compounded twice. So here we have a guy who's a very senior in the company. So he gets to see, he understands the pulse of the company. He knows what's going on. And this guy has got his own personal fortune invested in the same way we would invest. And at every opportunity, he's compounding. So all of these things together help paint a picture for me of a long-term view of this business. So questions, feel free to unmute yourself or type anything in the chat, and yeah, we'll see how we get on.
Gary.
Hello?
Hello, Ronald here.
Ronald, how are you doing?
Hi Gary. A question, I've got a dot product that is going to be released somewhere next coming weeks. How does it work? If you get, let's say, in my case, it will be 4,000. It comes in your wallet then?
So when you currently log on and you look at your product, you just kind of, you see the details and you see a shopping image. When you log in on the day that your contract matures, it's the exact date and the exact time. So if you put your contract in at 5 p.m., it will mature at 5 p.m. So if you log in at 1 minute after that time and look at your screen, the shopping image will have disappeared. And in its place, you'll see the option to withdraw. Now, you'll see two figures. You'll see your $4,000, and you'll have a button there which says withdraw. The withdrawal will go to the Bitcoin wallet address that you've saved in your settings screen. There's no withdrawal fee. So it takes 3 days, three trading days or 3 to 4 trading days to receive that money to your external Bitcoin wallet. You have to withdraw it from the platform. You can't transfer it into the main CFR wallet. They want you to withdraw it. And the idea behind that is if you want to reinvest and buy another product or do something else, they want you to purchase CFRs again and pay the 3.5% fee. The other figure you'll see in there is the tax figure. You won't be able to withdraw that. Only the Russian guys can withdraw that. So they've after the discussions that we've been having with Finiko, trying to push back from the us outside of Russia to say we don't want anything to do with your taxes, They've at the moment what they're saying is you're not going to get any taxes. We're not going to pay you any taxes, but we'll do that for the Russian guys because that's what they want to do in terms of their obligation to the Russian authorities.
So actually, you can get the 4,000.
Yes.
Okay, and then because I want to start the CTI then. That's the next question, because in the Telegram app, I saw something, it's gonna go to 20 CTIs, 20 CFRs for the CTI. Yes.
Now, one of the problems that we have with Finiko, I love Finiko. I mean, I absolutely love this company. I love what it's been able to do financially for so many people, including myself. But they drive me nuts a lot of the time as well, because their communication is very poor. Now they're trying, they really are trying. You know, I had a meeting with Kirill a couple of weeks ago, and he's agreed to hire an English-speaking manager to help us out, to help give us more clarity. Some of the things he told me during that meeting seem to have since been changed, but the thing with Finiko that I've decided after that last meeting was these guys are very conversational. We might be used in the West to, you know, let's say the head of Barclays, if he turns around and he says something, even like over a coffee, but he's people hear him and broadcast what he says. Whatever he says kind of goes, but with these guys, they're just having a conversation a lot of the time. So when Kirill said, when they're at these conferences and he says, you know, he wants to increase CTIs to 20,000, but they might go to 10,000. and then eventually to 20,000. And they might even go further. But the only facts that we have on the ground is the CTIs are 3,000 right now. If they do change, we'll get some notice. We'll get an official statement and we'll get notice. But right now, nothing has changed. So if people, I think if people have got long-term plans where they're looking at compounding, that makes a difference. You know, it impacts your planning, but we need to accept that there's a possibility that the price of CTIs will change. We don't know exactly when, and I've heard dates, but I'm not focused on any of those dates.
And in the case that it augments to 20 or 10 or whatever, if you have a 3 CTI, can you still keep that then?
Yes, there's no impact on what you currently have.
Okay, same with the 1,000 that became the 3,000.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So exactly. So for other people who don't know, the price used to be 1,000 per. Well, it still is 1,000 per CTI, but the minimum purchase was a single CTI. That was about 3 or 4 months ago. That changed to 3 CTIs as the minimum purchase. But there's lots and lots of people who still have 1 CTI and are still earning 1% per day. And there's been no impact, no negative impact on them other than their planning, the compounding planning.
Yeah. And the other thing is, you said, well, cars I'm not interested, but like real estate that works outside of Russia?
Yes. So if people want to buy property outside of Russia, they can do. The thing with those particular products are you will be asked for evidence that you've purchased the property. Mm-hmm. And there's a tax element in there that they want to show that you've paid the tax as well. So people have done this. Pardon?
Their tax.
Well, they're giving a tax based upon their Russian-centric view of things. But you need to have a discussion with them and show that you need to prove that you've paid tax on the money that you got. Now, the reason they do this is because let's say that your property is $100,000. You pay 35%, so you give them $350,000 plus a 1% fee. So the profit in between that, the difference between the 350,000 and the 100,000, that is taxable. Is particularly in Russia. So what they do is they give you the tax on that 650,000, and in Russia you would pay that. It's a slightly different system than we have. You would pay that so that you know that you have your 100,000 ready to make a net purchase on your property. So that's why they do it. Their systems aren't really 100% set up for us outside of Russia. As I mentioned, with the debts product, it's all in rubles. But the point I was making was we can use them. There are people outside of Russia who are using them effectively, so we can do it. You just have to jump through a couple of hoops.
Yeah. Well, this is why I'm dealing also with 2 other Russian companies, and I know they're very consistent, very okay, but they're very in their conversations. It takes hours, and before they reach somewhere.
Are you talking about Russian culture and
yeah, it is in the Russian culture.
Yeah. Well, they probably have challenges with our culture as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, Ronald. Any other questions?
Yeah, Gary.
What's your name, please?
Andy Matthews.
No, your name's Adora.
No.
Yeah. Listen, if you're in a hammock, you need to show us. I want to see that hammock swinging.
No, not this time.
Okay.
Yes, the Russian culture. It's a big language barrier because they have meetings, and out of these meetings, people post a lot of things on the Telegram chat saying this is what they're going to implement, I'm
Yeah.
glad you explained the taxes with the product, because I am seeing that that question is always being asked on the chat, reference the taxes. Thank you for that explanation. The next thing too, the copy trading.
Yeah.
I want to get some ideas on this copy trading, because I've seen it starting with $1,000 and I think progress to 2 or 10,000 or 5,000, something like that. I want to get some details on that.
Well, they're offering 3 different packages: 1,000, 10,000, and 30,000. I don't particularly want to talk about it too much until it actually comes to until they've actually launched the product. There's a lot of things that Finiko have done in the past. Well, certainly not a lot of things, but with their card, for example, when they tried to launch that, and then it ended up being something slightly different. So I don't want to get into the details of things that aren't actually here. That we, it could look very, very different by the time it's ready, and it's all dependent upon the brokerage license. So if they don't get their brokerage license, then it's all been a waste of time. So I'd rather wait until it's actually relevant. But I'm very excited about that product. I will definitely be using it. But yeah, I'm going to wait until it's real first.
Oh, okay. Thanks very much. Finiko Life.
Yeah.
I was trying to get a spreadsheet to see the comparison. You said it is more profitable than CTIs on that product. Do we have that?
I did a video. If you look up on the playlist on my channel, look for a video where the thumbnail says 155.
All right. Okay then. All right.
And in there, I have a spreadsheet in comparison between CTIs, .product, and .life. And when you get to the frequency of 6 months and 12 months for .life, then it becomes very competitive when you compare it to .product and CTIs.
The CTIs. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'd be a brave man if you take only 1 or 2 payments a year.
That's true, because I'm sitting down in a .product contract here.
There was one girl there was one girl in the Finiko chat there who just received her product the other day, but she's been biting her nails kind of thing for the last couple of months.
Yes.
And she said that she kind of felt she made a mistake doing a 3-month contract, because it's such a long time. Especially if you're checking in every day and seeing how things are going, and then you hear about the tax issues, and then you start getting nervous, and the miscommunication and the lack of clarity that we experience with Finiko. It's a bit of a roller coaster when you're trying to worry about your risk management and stuff. So yeah, but that particular person received her product, it matured, and now she's totally whole. She's in profit. She's been able to take her money off the platform, and it's something that I always take a lot of pleasure from when I hear that people are whole. There's so many scams in this industry, and I hate hearing stories of people having been scammed.
Yes, and this cryptocurrency scammers, they are a lot, a lot.
Yeah, a lot. So when you have people who've gone, you know what, I invested, I had a plan, I managed my risk, I managed my greed, and I am now whole and I'm in profit. That's fantastic. I love hearing that.
Yeah, that's true.
What's your situation, Anthony? Are you whole yet? Have you got a plan?
My plan is the CTIs, but I missed out on a date from 1,000 to 3,000. I missed out on that increase matched me up, because as I am from Trinidad and Tobago, and at $1 is about $7 TT for us. So for me to get a CTI, that's about 21,000 TT, $21,000 TT, and I'm working my way. So I first heard about the product from your channel, and I said, let me try the .product. So I think I got in before the period that they increase the months by one, increase the duration by 1 month, and looking at December 26th for its maturity. And as I said, I'll have to withdraw it off the platform and pay the 3.5% to come in again.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
All right. Well, best of luck. Let us know when you've reached your when you're whole and you've completed your plan, your first stage of your plan.
No problem. No problem. Thank you very much for the knowledge.
Anyone else any questions? So just reading through some. Feel free to interrupt me. I'm just going to read through some of these messages. But if anyone wants to jump in, go ahead. So Albury Junker says, if an account is not funded, will it be deleted automatically with time, and how long? No, there's no expiry date on accounts. So you can create an account, leave it for a year, come back, and if you remember your password, you can log back in and activate it. Francis says, my friend just finished his Finiko.PRODUCT today, and he saw his profit from the product wallet. Happy to see it. That's great to hear. Albury says, Gary, can I ask on this platform from you if you can please forward me the filament? Well, hold on, I'm not allowed to talk about other stuff. You're asking about other products. Listen, just Albury, if you want to talk to me about anything else outside of Finiko, you can email me. All my contact details are below all my videos. Desiree says, Finiko has implemented the debit card in the back office. Can you tell me about that? Desiree, you need to change your name, because every time you make a comment, it's always about the credit card, the debit card. So debit card Desiree, that's your new name. Anyway, it's only joking. So that card in the back office, again, it's something I don't want to talk about a lot because I haven't received it yet. If people want to buy that card order it now. I don't know anyone who's actually received it, but there's a sister company. It's not Finiko's company, but a company called To the Moon, where Kirill Dornan has a part ownership, and his friend is the CEO there. If we want to buy that card, we're buying it from To the Moon. So if you click on that crypto card in the back office, you're brought to the Moon website. You can buy that card, and then they'll ship it to you. And apparently, it'll work anywhere in the world. It's not ready. It's not fully ready. I wish they'd launch products when they're absolutely ready, and not talk about them too much in advance, because it's a bit time wasting. So when I physically receive that card, the expectation is, from what I've been told, that there will be 2 integration points with the Finiko website. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to do that, because no one's asked me for my Finiko related identities, but I assume that they're going to do that at some point in the future, because the integration points are that we can withdraw funds from Finiko onto the card. And any purchases made on the card will automatically reflect as cashback. We don't have to scan those receipts in. They'll automatically appear in the cashback service. Paris says, do you have to pay tax on the .product investment currently? No, we don't pay tax on anything. Just just pretend there's no tax issue at all. Just don't even mention the word tax. If you're going to buy property, then have a conversation about tax in relation to that, but otherwise, no. God's Time says, no tax for investors out of Russia for .product, at least for now. That's correct. Thank you. Donna says, can we add a few mortgages together and run one bigger debt contract, or each debt separate contract? I like your style, Donna. That's very tycoonish style talk. My guess, and it's only a guess, is that yes, you could do that, because what Finiko want to see is that you've definitely purchased the property. Now, if you said, right, I'm buying a property for 100,000, and then you decide, actually, you know what? I've changed my mind. I'm going to buy it for 200,000. So you take out another 100,000 contract. Finiko set a time limit, so you need to be careful of this. So if they want you within a month to demonstrate that you've purchased the product within a month of your contract maturing. But you could have a conversation with them and say, right, I've got this other contract and I'm merging them together. So I'll show you those documents later. I personally wouldn't let them know in advance unless you haven't taken out the second contract yet. The communication is very, very complicated with these guys. So, sorry, Donna just updates that and says, I've a few current buy-to-let mortgages I need cleared. I'm not sure if clearing that mortgage, so clearing the mortgage would fall under the My Debts product, but it wouldn't fall under a property product. So yeah, I think so there's one person I know who's using the My Debts product, and what he's doing is he said they're quite flexible. So every month he receives his let's say he receives $1,000 a month. That's what he's agreed. He receives $1,000 plus 3% to cover the withdrawal fee. He then withdraws that. He then makes a payment against his debt. Let's say it's his mortgage, and he then scans in a copy of the payment from his bank, and that he sent that, and then he sends that to Finiko, and Finiko are happy with what he's doing, and he carries on. So I think that'd be totally fine with the debts option. That's my guess. Finiko, they're trying to do things legitimately. What they're trying to do with all these kind of prescriptive rules that they have, where they say you have to show us proof that you purchased the car, you have to show us proof that you purchased the property, proof that you're paying your payments to the debtor that we've agreed with on. What they're trying to do is stop Russian authorities or any other regulatory bodies from investigating them and finding problems. They want to be as clean as a whistle so that they can, so that they're not shut down by any stupid mistakes, basically. So that's why they're looking for this. Mice Clue says that is a foreigner. Not sure what you mean. You calling me a foreigner? We're all foreigners. It's all a relative concept. Right. Anyone else got any questions? Maya Clues says a non-Russian for the debt. Are you asking Mice that? So is it possible for a non-Russian? Yes, Mice, that's correct. It is possible for a non-Russian. So if you want to, sorry, Donna says she's Irish. So Donna's in Ireland and she's using the debts and the realty products. So yes, we can. It's fine for a foreigner. Yeah. All right. Anyone else? Any questions?
Gary.
Yes.
Gary, one more thing. I was playing up with the calculator under My Debts, and I see that the minimum is 100,000 rubles. Have you seen that? Have you checked that out? Oh,
it's 100. It's 100,000 rubles.
Okay.
Which is, I think it's $1,500, something like that.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's the currency change to US. Oh.
Yeah, just I know it's a bit awkward, but just have another tab open with a rubles to USD conversion to get an idea of what it is about.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. So that's the end of the presentation for the company, just an introduction to the company. If you have any further questions, ask your sponsor. If they can't help, ask via the web chat. And there's a very good Telegram support group in English called, let me just type it into the chat there. It's at Finiko English. I don't know if how many of you use Telegram, but I think Telegram is fantastic. It's yeah, especially for the kind of support that we can receive in that particular chat. So thank you for your time. This concludes this part of the webinar. For those of you who are interested in team building, hang on, and we're going to go through that. For the rest of you, thank you very much for coming along this evening. Have a great rest of your weekend. So team building, there are two bonuses that team builders get. If we own CTIs, then it opens us up to all of the bonuses and all the other products. Now, there's recently been a challenge on this for Cashback Service, and I'm waiting for clarification on that. There's a possibility, and if anyone's got experience of this, feel free to challenge this and correct me. But there's a possibility that for the Cashback Service that they've changed the rules, because I was receiving 5% on people's deposits in the Cashback Service up until the 16th of September. Then it looks like there's been a change. And it looks like that you need to have, Umberto was showing me the new rules, the new regulations for the Cashback Service. And in there, it's specified that you need to have 1,000 CFR, $1,000 worth of deposit yourself before you can receive the 5% on deposits. So I'm not sure what other people's experience of that is, but you can let me know. If you don't have CTIs, the main point of mentioning that was CTIs open you up to bonuses from everything. So for example, I don't own property, the property product or the .product or .life, but if any of my team purchase, any of my direct referrals purchase those products, I do get 5%. And if you don't own those products, if you don't have CTIs, you have to own the specific product before you get the bonus. And the other bonus we get is 3% of our team's profits up to 10 levels deep. And that is the biggest bonus in Finiko. Very, very important bonus. If you're a team builder, really understand the 3% team bonus. So if we look at a bit more detail on the 5% referral bonus, just for clarity, you must have personally purchased CTIs, or you need to own the product to get the bonus from. Then when one of your direct referrals purchases a product, you get 5%. If your direct referral later purchases more products, i.e. they compound, then you still get 5%. And you can withdraw your profits or purchase other products with your profits. Now, the 3% team bonus, we just look at level 1 for the moment because that's the simple one. But there are actually 14 levels, but the team bonus only applies to the first 10. So how do you qualify? You need to have at least one CTI, and you need 10,000 in turnover. So here's an example of how that might work. You sign up somebody and they purchase 3 CTIs. You sign up someone again and they purchase 3 as well. You've now got 6,000 in CTIs. You don't qualify yet because you need 10,000 turnover. Then you sign up a third person and they buy 6 CTIs. Now you've got 12,000 in turnover. So you now qualify for 3% of the team's profits on level 1. So in this scenario, 1% of 12,000 is $120. So your team is receiving $120 of profits each day. You receive 3% of that, which would be $360 a day. Now, before we look at the other levels 2 to 10, you need to understand what Finiko defines actual turnover to be versus turnover. So this is you buy, you don't buy George, you sign up George, and he's your level 1. So he buys 12 CTIs, so the actual turnover is 12,000. And at level 1, 100% of the actual turnover counts towards your turnover. So that would be 12,000 in turnover. George then signs up David. David is your level 2. David buys 12 CTIs. Actual turnover is 12,000. But at level 2, we only get 70% of the actual turnover counting towards our turnover. So in this case, that'll be 8.4K. David signs up Mary. She's your level 3. She buys 12 CTIs. Actual turnover is 12,000. But at level 3, only 50% of the actual turnover counts towards our turnover. So that would be 6K. So adding all that up, 36K in actual turnover in this scenario would be 26.4 in turnover that we can use for our bonus level qualifications. So now that we know that, let's look at level 2. So how do you qualify? You need to have 1 CTI and you need to have 30,000 in turnover. So how would we get that? Well, we know that our direct referrals, if they buy 12 CTIs, our turnover would be 12K because it's 100% counting at that level. And if we got 30,000 in sales from our level 2 referrals, 70% of that would be 21K. So add them together and we'd have 33K in turnover. Now, there's also a cashback service. They've kind of merged the cashback service compensation plan with the CTI compensation plan. And it's actually caused quite a bit of confusion for people, but the essence of it is that deposits in the cashback service count towards our turnover. And that helps us to reach higher bonus levels in the CTI compensation plan. Now, when you look at the affiliate program page at the moment in the back office, you see it shows your CTI requirements and your cashback service deposit requirements. I've asked Finiko for clarification on this change, but my understanding, and I think I'm right, is that it's either or. It's not both of them. So let's say you have, let's say you're trying to get to level 2, and level 2 is 30,000 in turnover. You could have 20,000 in turnover from CTIs and 10,000 in turnover from the cashback service deposits. So together, that would be 30,000, and that would get you to the next level. Now, the compensation plan has changed recently. And up till a few days ago, I'm on level 10, and up to a few days ago, on level 10, I was receiving a 3% flat rate bonus on the first 100,000 I had invested. And my goodness, that was a fantastic bonus. I was so grateful every day when I logged in and saw that. And that's all gone away now. There's no flat rate bonuses from level 8, 9, and 10. Now, they've done that for sustainability. Now, Ronald was asking earlier, well, when is it going to change? When is the CTI price going to change, or the minimum purchase for CTI is going to change to something else? And as I was trying to say to him, things don't necessarily move fast and on time in Finiko. These changes to the compensation plan were announced 2 months ago. And when I spoke to Kirill a couple of weeks ago, at the time he said, no, there isn't any changes. But I kind of felt in that interview that he didn't fully understand what I was talking about here. Anyway, the change has actually happened. So I'm going to go through the 14 levels. And the reason I've separated the first 5 here is because the first 5 you can do on your own. And when I say on your own, you don't need any of your team. You need to have team members, but you don't need any of your team to be to have any bonus level qualifications themselves. So, for example, let me do some annotations on this screen here. So, for example, I could sign up a single person, just one person, and they could deposit 100 CTIs. I would immediately go to bonus level 5. So I'd immediately qualify for that, providing I had 5 CTIs personally invested. And that would then give me 3% across anybody who was on level 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Now, I can't understate how powerful this 3% team bonus is. It is absolutely massive. The example I gave for the minimum qualification, which was on level 1, where you had 12,000 in CTIs, meant you're only getting $3.60 per day. Well, the guy that I showed you in the beginning who was sitting in the car, Igor, he's the first guy I've seen to reach $5,000 a day cap. So down here, I say that the 3% team bonus is capped at 5,000 per day. Now, there is a way to extend that to 7,500 per day. You could have 20,000 invested here in Finiko. That's the maximum that you need to get to level 10 in terms of personal investment. Now, I know 20,000 is a lot of money, but you could be earning $5,000 to $7,500 per day, 5 days a week, 21 to 22 days in a month, through this 3% team bonus by you only having, only in double quotes, 20,000 of your own money personally invested. So that's the potential with this system from a team building perspective. Right, let me go to the next one. Let me clear all drawings, close that. Right. So this is the rest of the bonus, the compensation plan. Now, off the top, I've mentioned that it's now the CTI. Oops, sorry, I didn't do that. 1 second. Clear drawings. Select a square. This is a bit like being a kid drawing on a paintbrush. Right, so I'll call it now the CTI and the CBS compensation plan because they've merged. And at the higher levels, you can well, let me just go through it step by step actually. So to get to bonus level 6, you need to have 7 CTIs personally invested. You don't need any personal CBS deposits. You only start to need them at level 11 to level 14. So at level 6, in order to qualify, you need your team members to achieve a certain bonus level, and they need to be your direct referrals. So your direct referral, one of your direct referrals needs to reach bonus level 2 in order for you to reach bonus level 6. You need to have a 200,000 turnover from your team, so 200 CTIs turnover. And then you receive 3% of what everyone's profits at level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, and level 6. It really adds up to a serious amount of money. You also receive a cash bonus of $1,000 once you reach level 6. Now at level 8, that's kind of a bit more difficult because at level 8, you need to have 3 people doing well in your team. One of them needs to be on level 4 and 2 of them needs to be on level 3. You then need a $400,000 turnover, and you'll receive a bonus of 5,000 at that level. Now up to level 10, so all of these bonuses, the 3% that we receive is only on the first 10 levels. It's not beyond that. But at level 10, the bonus goes from 3% to 3.5%. Now that 0.5%, you might think, oh, it's not very much, 0.5%, but I can tell you it makes a huge difference, especially when you've got, and that 3.5% is across all of the levels above you. So if you were on level 9 and you were receiving 3% from level 1 to level 9, that extra 0.5% when you get to level 10 is across all of those levels above you. So it's a really huge bonus. And we also now at level 10 receive a $15,000 bonus, which we didn't before. And that's kind of replacing the flat rate that we used to get. Now, when you want to go past level 10, it's really, really difficult now. To get to level 10, I think, well, you need $1 million in turnover. But level 11, you need to have 5 million in turnover. You need to have personally invested $100,000. in CTIs, and you need $20,000 in the cashback as a deposit in the cashback service. But you need 5 of your own people to be at level 10. Now the difference between these qualifications for level 10, the 5 level 10 people, and then the ones above. So the ones above, all of these requirements here need to be direct, your direct referrals. But these ones here, they can be anywhere in the 10 levels below you, so long as they're on independent branches. So for example, if I sign up David and David reaches level 10, and if someone else, David signs up Mary and Mary reaches level 10, I can only use one level 10 in that branch because it's a single branch. I have to directly sign up another guy, but if I sign up another guy and he only signs up one person, but then 10 levels down from him, someone reaches level 10, well, that qualifies as two of those 5 requirements to get to level 11, a director level. Now, once you get to director level, you get your 5,000 daily cap on the 3% team bonus increases to 10,000, and it also applies to the bonuses that you receive from the cashback service. So you can receive 10,000 from the CTI compensation plan and 10,000 from the cashback service compensation plan. And all the way up there at level 14, they call this company counselor or advisor. You need to have 3 million personally invested. You need to have 20 people on level 10. You need to have a turnover of 30 million. And then you get a 30,000 cap on your 3% team bonus. It was 3.5% at that level, and on the bonuses you receive from the cashback service. So if you ever manage to reach that level, you will get a maximum of 30K from each of those different sources, CTI and CBS. So 60,000 bonuses per day. And I saw a guy talking about this the other day, who's a level 10 guy, a Russian guy. And he says that his plan, his goal is to reach level 14 in 5 years. And I looked at that and I thought, first of all, the guy is assuming that the company's going to last 5 years. So I like his optimism. I tend to have a very short to medium term view of any of these crypto companies. And I do that as a self-defense mechanism, because if I think like that, it helps manage my risk. If I think, oh no, this company's going to last for years and years, well, then I'll start compounding and keep compounding and never take my profits out, because I have this very long-term view. But if I have a short to medium-term view, okay, there could be a guy next to me who compounds for a year. He's going to have more money than I have, but I will take money off the table. I will feel a lot more comfortable, because my risk will be better managed. And if anything does happen in the future, God forbid, then I've hopefully got my initial capital back and I'm hopefully in profit. So generally what I do is, once I reach the stage where I'm happy that I've got profit, I will then do a mixture of compounding and taking out some money off the table. There was a time there when Finiko were talking about the taxes, and I started getting nervous, if you like. It wasn't necessarily nervous, but I was unhappy with this change, and I lowered the risk rating for Finiko from low risk to medium risk. And I started withdrawing. Up to then, I'd been compounding quite just before that, and I stopped compounding and I started withdrawing. And again, that's just my own personal risk management. But as soon as I was happy with that the tax issue was no longer an issue, I started compounding again and withdrawing. So I'm doing a mix. Yeah. So, but everyone has to manage risk in their own way, whatever is comfortable for you. But when that guy said that he was aiming to get to level 14 in 5 years, I set my own goal for that, and it's not 5 years. I don't generally, I'm on level 10, and I don't generally like projecting myself too far ahead. But my goal for director level is I'm hoping to get to director level in the next 6 months. So that's my goal. I'm not going to plan 5 years ahead. That's as far ahead as I would ever go. Now, there are details. If any of you want to know the details of how to extend that cap past the 5,000 to the 2,500, the details are below there, but I'm happy to talk about them if you want. Now, there's also another very exciting compensation plan, and that's the Finiko.PRODUCT compensation plan. And what I'm about to tell you now applies to the property, cars, and debts as well. So providing you own CTIs or have a Finiko.PRODUCT contract, when your direct referral purchases a contract, you immediately receive 5% bonus. Now, if anyone from level 1 to 10 buys a Finiko.PRODUCT contract, then after 1 month has passed, you receive 1% a month for 12 months. It doesn't matter if that contract was a 3 or 4, a 5 or 7 month contract, it doesn't matter what it was. Over a 13-month period, you'll receive a bonus of between 17 and 12%. So if the guy was your direct referral, you receive 5%, and then a month later, you'll start receiving 1%. And so that 12, over the next 12 months, you'll get 12% plus the original 5%, 17% if it was a direct referral, or 12% if it wasn't a direct referral. The beauty of this is someone could buy a property for $100,000 and be at level 10. You never even heard of them. You never even met them. And you'll receive 12% of what they purchased it for. So if they purchased it for $350,000, that would be their price of the 100,000. You'd receive 12% of that $350,000 over a 12-month period. Absolutely huge bonus, that is. Right, how many people do you think you need to have to get to level 10? How many sign-ups do you think you need to get? Well, that Igor fellow that was sitting in the car, he has signed up only 24 people. I say only because, 24 people is a lot of people, but not to get to level 10, that's not a lot of people. And he's got a team of 7,500 people. So he signed up 24, and then over time, it grew to 7,500. Now, some of these bonuses, the fact that they happen way down anywhere, from level 2 to level 10, it opens up Finiko to be an absolute massive, massive earning company for us. For team builders, this is huge. Finiko is absolutely massive, massive revenue stream. Right, that's enough excitement. I need to calm myself down. I love Finiko. So, any questions? Tommy says, what's your experience with the cashback service? Can you scan all your monthly payments? I've only recently, to be honest, I wasn't going to do anything with the cashback service until the card arrived. But then when I found out that, and I'm not 100% sure this is true, but when I found out that the 5% bonus that I was receiving on cashback deposits I wasn't receiving them. I then purchased $1,000 of cashback service as a deposit. That's my first entry into it. So, and what I did is I tried to scan in a receipt straight away, and it wouldn't let me because it takes 3 working days for the deposit to become active. So I'll be able to share a bit more details next time. But the essence of it is, Tommy, if you have if you put in $1,000 deposit, you can scan in each month up to $1,000 worth of receipts, and that could be your mortgage. So if you let's say you had a mortgage for $1,200 a month, you could scan that in and just take a picture of that, scan that in, and you would be allowed the first $1,000 of that $1,200 as your receipt. Now the receipt has to be within, it can't be over 3 days old, the receipt. So you need to get your timing right. And then what happens is you get a minimum of 15% cash back on that. So in this scenario with $1,000 deposit, if you scan in $1,000 worth of receipts, you would get $150 cash back, paid equally over 5 months. So in this scenario, you'd be getting $30 over a 5 month, each month for 5 months. And you can compound that by having, the next month scanning in the same kind of receipts again, and then you're receiving $30 from the first month, $30 from the next month, that kind of thing. Daniel says, what is the relationship and or dependency between the cashback service in the Finiko platform and the cashback and the CBS One Icon project? I wish they'd got their naming nomenclature a bit different. I don't like how they name their products in Finiko. Particularly calling products. They sometimes call it Finiko.product, products. Very, very confusing name. The same thing with the cashback service. The CBS One project, the ICO project, is a completely different project. I don't talk about it because it's too confusing. But basically, they have. I think what Finiko were trying to do, the essence of what they were trying to do was, they developed a cashback model, and they said, right, cashback model, we're going to be able to encourage people to like they have a new product coming up called Fin to Fin, where people borrow money from each other, and they want to encourage people to pay people back. So they introduced the cashback service model for that. So if you have this cashback model, you can apply it to multiple different things. You can apply it to a crypto credit card, debit card. You can apply it to a deposit system, like depositing in a bank account and getting a 6% interest per month. You can apply it to the tokenization of things, ICOs, that kind of thing. So it's more of a concept, but they've named things in a very confusing way. Tommy says, thank you. Then I need to get $2,000 in the cashback service and start scanning like crazy. You must have a big mortgage, Tommy. Okay, any other questions? Okay, right, all right. So I think the new, just in summary for these changes that have happened with the compensation plan. For those of you who are big team builders and we're already on level 8, 9, and 10, or we're going to be on level 8, 9, and 10, yeah, my commiserations. That sort of sucks because the flat rate was taken away. But if we want to be in this, now I know I said I don't think of things long term, but if we want this company to succeed long term, anytime they hit a challenge where things may not be sustainable, then I want this company to make changes so that we can all survive, whether we're team builders or passive investors, for as long as possible. It's very difficult to find companies out there that are legitimate, and even harder to find companies where you could put in $1 million. How many companies do you know where you'd be prepared to put $1 million in there and invest that? Finiko, yes. And there's only one other company. Well, actually, there's 2 other companies. There might be 3. But there's very few companies where I feel confident in being able to do that. Finiko is one of them. So the thing that has kind of helped me to balance out the loss of the flat rates is this 3% team bonus. I've been watching the volume in my team grow and grow and grow on a daily basis, going up like by $200 a day, $300 a day, based upon this cascading effect of people signing up, more people and more people, and this the 3% bonus is based upon the actual turnover. So you can have your turnover, which is a percentage, it's percentage reduced as you go through the 10 levels, but the actual turnover, that is, so at level 10, for example, people might deposit, say $100,000 there. You get the full benefit of that from an actual turnover perspective in relation to the 3% team bonus. The 3% team bonus, like that guy Igor, who I should have looked up exactly when he joined, but that guy only signed up 24 people, and he is already maxed out at $5,000 per day. I think that's massive, really massive. Anyway, thanks very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care, everybody. Now, if you want to join Finiko, stay tuned for the next 30 seconds and I'll quickly go through the steps. So the first thing you need to do is register. So go to signupnow.app/Finiko. If you're using a laptop, look for this icon of a globe on the bottom left, click on the arrow and choose your language. If you're using a mobile phone, click on the menu icon, then the globe icon and choose your language. And before you can purchase anything, you need to complete KYC. Now, a passport is the best option, but driver's license may also be accepted. So then you deposit at least $155 in Bitcoin or USDT. That's the minimum price to get started in what they call products. Or if you're buying CTIs, the minimum is $3,000. So then you buy your product, and if you bought CTIs, then after 3 trading days, you start to receive your daily earnings. All right, take care, guys.